So here we are in our class. Today is Thursday, so we're going to click on Thursday. We have a PowerPoint that we're going to be viewing. It's the same PowerPoint from the other day. We're just continuing on in it. You do have this assignment that says speech outline assignment. When you open this up, you are going to be able to edit this however you want. So if you want to like erase my nice little sentence about what you're supposed to do there, you can do that. But before you can edit this, what do you need to do? Make a copy. So we're going to go File, Make a Copy. And then we're going to make sure it's in what folder? Your Professional Communications eBinder. It's going to be under your drive. So you're going to go to Professional Communications eBinder. But you want to go one step further than that. This is going to be a daily assignment. So where do you want to send it to? To your daily assignments folder. And then you'll press send, hit OK, and bada bing, bada boom. It's there. Now y'all can edit it however you want. When you go through to edit this, so today we're only going to work on these first four, number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Everything else we're going to leave blank. We're going to go ahead and finish that tomorrow. But again, you can edit all of this out as much as you want. If you want to leave my nice little sentence so you know exactly what to do in that specific spot, then you can type in a different color. That's fine. I always choose red. Okay. Just make sure that you're not erasing like the AG or the link. Like don't erase my bolded stuff because I want you to get used to labeling the parts of your speech. Because it's a lot easier when you bring an outline up with you to give a speech. It's a lot easier for you to see, okay, I know I just said my link, so what's next? Thesis. There it is. Okay. It's a lot easier to see. And it's a lot easier for me to grade because now I'm not searching just a paragraph for your thesis. Yes?
So we don't have to link our hook from our last assignment to this one?
Yes. So if y'all want to go ahead and open up your Finding a Hook assignment from yesterday, go ahead and open that up now. And we're actually going to use that assignment to help us with our attention getter on the introduction. All right. So let's talk a little bit about introductions. All right. Let me go to my PowerPoint.
So you want us to link our hook from the Finding Hook assignment?
Yeah. Pause right now. I'll get there. Yeah. All right. So we have the structure of an introduction. So yesterday we worked all on our attention getters. So we are awesome at attention getters now. Here's your phone. Yep. So we're going to go a little bit in depth. There's 4 parts to an introduction. You have your hook, which you know all about. You have a link. You have your thesis or your topic. And then you have your point preview, or you can just call it a preview, okay? Your link, let's talk about that real quick because you haven't heard of this yet. Your link is just you either explaining your hook and why you're using it, or you can use the link to explain your thesis or your topic because some of y'all might be talking about some things that other people aren't aware of, and you might need to give a little bit of a background on what it is that you're talking about. Does that make sense? Okay. Then you have your topic, or we call it a thesis. A thesis in speech class is super, super easy. It's not hard at all. Are you ready for the thesis for this assignment?
Yes.
Today I'm going to talk about myself.
Easy.
That's it. That's all you would write for your thesis on your outline, okay? Every single time you do a speech, your thesis is going to start off with today I'm going to talk about and whatever topic you're going to end up talking about for that day. So if I wanted to talk about puppies, what would my thesis be?
I'm going to talk about puppies.
Today I'm going to talk about puppies. If I wanted to talk about volcanoes, what would my thesis be?
Today I'm going to talk about volcanoes.
Today I'm going to talk about volcanoes. What if I wanted to talk about the flag? What's my thesis going to be?
Today I'm going to talk about
Talk about flag.
Today I'm going to talk about the flag. Do y'all see how easy a thesis can be for speech class? Fantastic. Wonderful. Your point preview is very much like your thesis, but now you're going deeper into it and talking about 3 different categories within that topic. So, for example, if my thesis is today I'm going to talk about myself, my 3 points might be, first, I'm going to talk about my childhood. Next, I'm going to talk about my adolescent years,
What is that?
my teenage years. And then finally, I'm going to talk about where I am in life right now. Do y'all see how I mapped out exactly what I'm going to talk about within the body of my whole entire speech? That is what the preview is. Do you have a question?
When do we have to do like a speech in front of the class?
As soon as we are done writing this, practicing it, and then we're good.
And then next thing is it in person, like standing up there?
I'm going to give you the option to record it too.
Okay, so then if you do it in person, it's extra credit.
Yep.
If I'm gonna do it in person.
Yes, sir.
Just 'cause I'm better at that.
Yeah, we will be recording these. Every speech we do, we're just gonna record. But if you want to do it in person, you can do it in person. Yes, you'll still have to record the video every single time because I want to be able to go back and review it later on. All right, so in order to make sure that you are understanding what I'm telling you and how to structure your introductions out, we're going to watch a couple examples, and I want you to be able to listen for and pick out what the hook was, what the link was, what the topic was, and what their preview was. All right, are y'all ready to listen? Let me make sure my sound is turned all the way up. All right. Here's our first example. Make sure you're listening because you have to catch it.
What do you consider manly? Some would say Arnold Schwarzenegger and his muscles. Others would say Sylvester Stallone and his amazing job, Justice. And some would even say Bruce Campbell and that chin. But what does an oddball such as myself consider manly? My Little Pony, friendship is magic. Now I know what some of you are thinking. You watch a show for little girls? Well, contrary to what you may think, there are more male teen to adult fans than there are young girl fans. That's how much of a phenomenon it has become. There are tons of internet jokes and hundreds of thousands of fans known as bronies. In case you can't tell, I'm one of them. Now, I will be explaining the development, the plot, and what the show has become from the internet. Let's begin with the plot.
All right. What was his attention getter? What did he say?
He watches My Little Pony. That got my attention.
But what was the first thing that came out of his mouth?
Oh, what makes a man a man?
Yeah, so he asked a rhetorical question. Do I like it when y'all ask rhetorical questions?
Yes. No.
No, I don't want y'all to use rhetorical questions in any of your speeches you give for my class because that is lazy and we don't like to do that.
Aw.
So his rhetorical question was, what do you consider manly? And then he started going a little bit more in depth on what he meant by that. Okay, what are some examples that he gave? The strong, okay, they talked about Arnold Schwarzenegger and his muscles. They talked about Sylvester Stallone's nice little jawline, and then Bruce Campbell's chin, right? So with that, was he explaining his attention getter by using those examples? So what do we call that explanation? So that was the link, okay? Him doing all of that explanation was the link for that. Does that make sense to you all? Okay. Then he started actually talking about his topic, which was what? What was his actual topic? What was he talking about in his speech? Yes?
The bronies.
His My Little Pony. Okay, so his whole entire topic of his speech, now we know that he's going to be talking about My Little Pony the whole entire time. Yes. So he's talking about My Little Pony. Okay. And he came up with 3 things that he was going to talk about with My Little Pony. What were they? Do y'all remember? I'm sorry? No, that wasn't one thing he was going to talk about. Plot was one. That's fine. A lot of people only get plot, but the first thing he's going to talk about is development. Then he's going to talk about the plot. And then finally, he's going to talk about how the show has evolved. All right? Okay, we only have that much. But I do have another speech for us to watch. So I'm going to show you this one. And one thing I want you to pay attention to is the link and the thesis can be interchangeable. Sometimes you can have your link explaining the attention getter, but sometimes you can have the link explaining your topic. So here's an example of that.
I know what you're thinking. What's under the sheet? Well, I'll tell you. Another sheet. Don't worry, we'll get there. But first, we're going to talk about Netflix and the Netflix model of predictive behavior. The Netflix model is an important and demonstrable example of the machine learning world of modern society. As a mathematics major and a machine learning research scholar, I'm excited to share some insights into how this simple process can, is, and will affect the lives that we live. Today we'll be talking about three things. First, the history of Netflix. Second, we'll demonstrate and discuss the Netflix process. And third, we'll step away from Netflix and discuss how similar processes affect the modern life, the lives that we live.
All right, so what was his hook? What's under the sheet? Okay, that was what his hook was.
Wait, what?
He is just simply asking, hey, I know y'all are interested in this sheet, but don't worry, we'll get to that. Now, we talked about that kind of strategy and using that kind of strategy the other day when we were talking about finding a hook. It's inciting what? What is he inciting? Curiosity. He's inciting that curiosity in you, all right? Making you really focus in on that sheet. What was his, so again, did y'all see how as soon as he was done talking about the sheet, he went straight into his thesis? Which was what? Today we're going to talk about Netflix, all right? And he's actually said we're going to talk about Netflix and its model of predictive behavior. Do y'all know what Netflix in the model of predictive behavior is?
Oh.
No, you don't, right? Remember how I told you to act like your audience is stupid? So what did he do after he introduced that topic to us?
He acted like they were stupid.
And what did he do?
Oh,
He explained it, and he explained what it was, and he gave you kind of an insight. Guess what we call that explanation? What did we call it? It starts with an L. It's the link, okay? So that explanation of the model was his link. So do y'all see how the topic and the link can kind of be interchanged and it's still okay? That's fine, all right? Then he had a point preview. What was his 3 points? History of Netflix was one of them. Yes, demonstrating and discussing the Netflix process. And the last one is? Yeah, how it affects our modern life. All right. Does this make sense to you all? Do we have any kind of questions over how we're supposed to structure our introductions? Yeah. Yeah. All right. So now I want you to go back to your speech outline. And like I said in the beginning of class, we are only going to do these 4. Don't worry about everything that comes after. We're going to continue this on for the next couple days. But we're only going to finish your introduction today. So with that being said, what I want you to do, are y'all all on this page?
Oh, wait, no.
Make sure you get to this assignment, please.
I'm on the back.
And what you're going to do is you're going to go to the thesis and you're going to erase up to the today I will. Keep the today I will. This speech that you're writing, your topic is an all about me, right? So what is your thesis going to be?
All about. No, today I'm going to be talking about me.
Today I will talk about myself. That is your thesis. Now you don't have to worry about it. Thanks, Coach Wait.
Wait, so we're all talking about
Yeah, you're all going to have the same thesis. For this one assignment, we're all going to be talking about ourselves so we can get to know each other. Later on, I'll actually give y'all speeches where you can have free reign and talk about whatever topics you want. Because the best way to do a speech is to talk about something you actually want to talk about, right? Okay? So, thesis is already done. I would spend 5 minutes on each of the other ones. So your attention getter, link, and preview, spend 5 minutes trying to figure those out. Your attention getter, you've actually already written down. Where is it at?
Oh, in our notes thing.
It's in your Finding a Hook assignment. In your Finding a Hook assignment, you actually came up with 3 different attention getters. You have the quote. Number 2 on Finding a Hook was you just linking it and explaining, right? Remember? So 1 and 2 kind of go hand in hand. So if you choose your quote, you can copy your quote down, and then you can copy number 2 down for your link here as well. Your other one was a story that you, like a personal story. So you could copy and paste that story in. And then the other one was an anecdote. You could copy and paste that one in. So go back to your Finding a Hook assignment. Choose which one you actually want to use for this particular speech and paste it in there. Then either explain your attention getter and why you're using it, or you can switch the thesis in the attention getter and explain why you're going to be talking about yourself. And don't just say because Coach Waiton's making me. And then for your preview, I gave you an example for the preview. If I was doing this speech, I would talk about it chronologically. So I would start off with my childhood when I was a kid. Then I'd go to my adolescent years when I was a teenager. And then I would talk about what's going on right now in my life. Okay? But y'all can do it however you want. You can talk about your family, your friends, and your hobbies. You can talk about your childhood, what's going on right now, and what you see yourself doing in the future. Okay, there's these 3 points. You could talk about activities that you do, like extracurricular activities, your hobbies, or maybe something that you just like to do for fun. Okay? We want to get this introduction done today. But you're not going to turn it in yet because we got to finish it. All right. So y'all have the rest of the class period to go ahead and get this introduction done. Before I move on, my virtual kids, do y'all have any questions about this assignment before I can let y'all log off?
No, ma'am.
We're all good. Awesome. If y'all need to pop back in, you can. But other than that, go ahead and go start doing your work, okay?